We live in a world of mediocrity. They have subjugated themselves to that less than pleasure-seeking lifestyle. When we remove ourselves from that, we become superior and we start living superior lifestyles. Be sober-minded, be moderate, have that temperance to know what works for you and what doesn't. Gentlemen, what's going on? This is the Better Man channel, where we choose to be sober-minded and vigilant in protecting our ways. We live in a masturbatory, screen-staring, pleasure-seeking society where the consumeristic mindset of overindulgences is not only sold to us and promoted, it's bought and acutely adhered to by society, by the majority. It's as if we're in this subservient competition to see who can become the most ignorant, the most weak, the dullest vegetable of all. We stare at our screen hours upon hours. We waste time on meaningless subjects. The Stoics have 4 cardinal virtues that help direct their aim in life, that being justice, courage, wisdom, and temperance, or moderation. And moderation is key in life, and from their school of thought, it was to be moderate in the use of alcohol or to abstain from overindulgence in eating, and the luxurious things of life, to contain your senses in a mannerly way. And in the current landscape, we have all these luxuries. We have all these distractions that vie for our time. These vices, if you will. And so we have to ask ourselves, am I being moderate? Am I wasting time? Am I wasting time on meaningless things that are doing me no good, that are not adding any substance to my life, that is not adding anything to my character? Am I being moderate? Am I having that sober mind? Society today is begging for someone to stand up with this sober mind, this moderation and temperance, to prove their character, to prove who they are. The majority of people are never going to accept moderation, especially in today's state, today's climate, where there's always this new shiny object. It's always at your hand. Your phone is right there to spend hours upon hours watching meaningless, overstimulating nonsense, noise that is never going to do you any good. It's always been that from day one, from antiquity. There's been distractions that the majority of the people buy into. They're not willing to submit themselves to the arduous efforts of becoming better, which excites me, especially in today's climate. We live in a time today where it's so easy to go above average, to stop being average, to get to that next level. Because think about it, and we've been there in our own lives. It's so easy to just be average. It's so easy to overindulge in Netflix, to overindulge on your phone and social media, to overindulge in food where fast food is on every corner. No one or people are refusing to be sober-minded. They're refusing to be vigilant and watchful. And that's what's going to separate men. And that's the type of men that we need to redirect society in a meaningful course. To not only set our life in order, but to begin to be an example that can help other people find ordered steps that help them to remove themselves from that enslavement of overindulgence. The majority of people don't even know that they've enslaved themselves. It's that pleasure, that seeking pleasure. Well, I'm fine with this. This is my life. I sit on my couch and watch 10 hours of social media and Netflix, and I order fast food, and it's all at my hands right here, right now. And that's that sensuous desire we have to arrest and capture and bring it under control, because we've all been there. It's easy to surrender to that sensuous, the senses. Your eyes see it, your ears hear it, you feel it, you like it, you taste it, you want it. It's that animalistic instinct that can't control its passions, its desires. And that's where we see the herd going. The promotion of this consumeristic, buy this, indulge in this. And it removes the ability to overcome that level average living that many of us detest. We don't want to be less than. We fall victim and fall prey to our senses instead of being that, or having that sober mind and possessing the strength to say, you know what, this isn't good for me. I need to abstain from that, right? We moderate that. And the question is, well, how do we do that? And ultimately, how do you remove yourselves from those temptations and those things that are going to create an overindulgence? You stay busy. You know, I've dealt with substance abuse, and alcohol and drugs. And one of the things that helps me keep my mind off of that and not even participating in that is to stay busy, right? When we're so engrossed with something else, we don't have the time or even the desire or even the thought process to be calculating, well, should I be doing that? Should I be doing that? We are engrossed in something productive. And so if you know you have downtime where in that time you might waste 3 hours watching Netflix, or it's easier to just order some fast food, plan something productive in that downtime. Plan to go to the gym in the evenings when you have 2 hours. Plan to read that book in that time limit. Plan to do your laundry, clean the house, whatever it may be. Go out with your friends. When you know you have downtime and it's easy to subjugate yourself to those pleasure senses, plan something productive ahead of time so that you can keep that sober mind, so that you can keep that vigilance in protecting your ways. We have to become stronger. We have to become sharper. We have to have that solar elevated mindset that sees all things before they happen. We know that if we have 3 hours of time, we're going to sit there and be a vegetable and stay on social media or Netflix and waste time. So instead of becoming that vegetable, instead of buying into that overindulgence that's promoted and sold to you, begin to conquer yourself. Begin to conquer that mind. Be sober-minded. Fill that downtime with something productive. When we stay busy, we are not so easily distracted on the less than things that are constantly thrown and bombarding us from society and their let's sell it to you mentality. And we can't blame anyone else. That's how it is. And that's the state of affairs right now, that they're going to be selling you things because the majority of people are going to continue to buy into that. And so in order for us to separate ourselves and to live the life that we're capable of, to live that life that we were created to do, we've got to begin to remove ourselves from that overindulgence mentality, that sensuous pleasure. I want it now. I want it now. I want to taste it. I want to see it. I want to feel it. We remove ourselves from that. And we do that by staying busy with productive manners. And we make that a habit. We make it a habit to run on our downtime. We make it a habit to go to the gym. We make it a habit to read that book. We make it a habit to surround ourselves and associate with people that are productive and not useless, meaningless vegetables. We plan our productivity times, especially in accordance with when we have downtime and when we know it's easy to just lay on the couch and watch 3 hours of YouTube. We have to plan and manage that time effectively. We be sober-minded and have that temperance and moderation to abstain from things that are going to lead us astray, that are going to remove us from our desired outcomes, right? Every action has a consequence and effects of. We have to believe in that, and we have to be able to connect the dots. If I watch 3 hours of YouTube 5 days a week, that's 15 hours of wasted time where that I could have worked on myself, worked on my body, worked on relationships, worked on finances, whatever it may take. We live in a world of mediocrity. They have subjugated themselves to that less than pleasure-seeking lifestyle. When we remove ourselves from that, we become superior and we start living superior lifestyles. Be sober-minded. Be moderate. Have that temperance to know what works for you and what doesn't. You guys will hear from me next episode.